Casper is out opposite Wayne Gretzky, and that another interesting sidebar story to this series. Gretzky, nice pivot, whipped it along, but Burridge starts back ahead for the Bruins. On now to Sweeney. Head to Burridge. Score! Joyce with a shot that goes wide. Janney muscled off by Bukaboom, so this one comes to Marty McSorley. Off of Messier, and then McSorley was really banged by Cam Neely. Puck spun around, and Anderson is there to keep it. Couldn't get by Kluzak. There's so much byplay at the front of the net. Reggie Lemelin is there, and he wants to make sure that Mike Krushelnyski knows that he doesn't want to be blocked out in front. 11.5 minutes to go, first period of play. Bruins leading the Oilers 1-0. Solid check by McSorley. He's shoved down by Neely. Good hit by Courtnall on Kluzak after he'd released this one. Neely carries. McClellan gives him a whack, and down goes Neely. There'll be a penalty coming up to the Oilers. Glad you're with us tonight on ESPN, along with Mickey Redmond, Tom Meese, and Bill Clement. Mike Emmerich from the Boston Garden. Acton able to clear it back out, and then took a solid hit from Neely.
And that was the hit that Keith Acton took. Apparently Andy Van Hellemond, who was right along the boards near them. Be interesting to see what he calls. He might even call it boarding or charging. But he sure nailed Acton. Janney is in there. There's Acton. Boarding is what he called it.
Marty McSorley to play. Crowd of the forechecker rams into McSorley. Puck flipped by McTavish, and he took a hit from LeMay. Ford for the drive that is saved. Right back along to Courtnall. Big drive, sticked away by Lemelin. Gregg steps away from LeMay. In comes Telvin. Flipped down McTavish. Puck winds up underneath him, and we get another halt to the action with 6 minutes and 7 seconds to go here in the first period. Through the mist or the fog or whatever you can see, it is 1-0 Boston.
Greg McTavish knows this hit is coming, but there's not much he can do about it. Alan Peterson, at about 195 pounds, freight trains him. There's the puck arriving.
Momentarily unmolested, it was McSorley to Krushelnyski, and here comes Gretzky. Has McClellan on the wing. Gretzky, big drive, save! Oh, they score! I thought that Lemelin had it initially. Neely eyed up by McSorley. Shakes one loose, hoping for Joyce. He's reefed by Bukaboom. Curry moves in. Pass tipped over to Middleton. Middleton had it lost to Gretzky, but still in the zone was Tikkanen, and so it's an offside play. And away from the puck, Telvin is down and injured. And now Miller challenging McSorley.
No, Marty McSorley is standing there shaking his head like, I didn't do anything. I didn't see it. But Jay Miller can't react to whether or not Marty McSorley is telling the truth. He is one of the enforcers, and he knows that one of his guys is down, and that is Telvin. We mentioned it before, and now is probably as good a time as any to re-mention the fact that the Bruins dress 5 defensemen and 5 defensemen only.
We'll get a chance to see it here.
Be in the upper right corner, will it? There's 22, turn right on the right side. Well, Marty McSorley looked as if he was going back to get into his defensive position, and Telvin was turning. They definitely collided, but you could see that Marty McSorley didn't go out of his way to ram Michael Telvin. Pretty tough to tell from that angle whether or not he got his stick on him, but it was definitely a collision that didn't look intentional from that shot.
While all this has been going on, Jay Miller has been skating about the ice, followed by Ron Finn, the linesman, talking to any Oiler on the ice who will listen. Jay Miller, tough guy out of the University of New Hampshire, saw a couple of years in the International League. Plays both defense and forward, though predominantly the Bruins have been using him as a forward. Let's go ice side to Mickey Redmond.
Guys, it looked like Telvin is got some nature of a serious injury. As I watched from down here, Miller now goes over to challenge McClellan, who he's already fought with in this series. They have brought a stretcher on the ice, and Telvin being attended to by the Boston doctor, now being rolled over onto the stretcher. So obviously you talked about it being an accidental hit. It looked like it was, and Delvin obviously got banged in the wrong area, and he's not going to be able to get up on his feet at all as they'll carry him off. So, Billy, you were talking about the 5 defenseman thing. This has got to hurt the Boston Bruins. You know, just a short note on the Boston Bruins. They decided to take a charter after Game 2 in Edmonton, and it backfired on them as they got fogged out of Logan Airport here in Boston. Did not get home until 9:30 yesterday morning. And boy, there's a lot of upset people that happened, that they couldn't get in here and get to bed. That could be, Bill, a fatigue factor later on in this hockey game.
Well, especially with the fact that we are down to 4 defensemen. Wouldn't you agree, Mickey, that if Jay Miller decides he's going to run around and take revenge, that's exactly opposite of what the Bruins need. They need to continue with the same effort they have right now and not let Jay Miller get them into penalty trouble. Your thoughts?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you're talking the series right here. If Edmonton goes up 3-0, it's going to be next to impossible for the Bruins to do anything but bow out. But this is a 1-1 hockey game halfway through the second period. They're in their home building. The last thing in the world they need right now is an unnecessary or a foolish penalty. They got to keep their composure. They're right in this hockey game, and one little shot either way, and the Bruins are hoping it's them, of course, and they're right back in this series.
We tried to show you a bit of that replay. It was just going out of the upper left. We really didn't have a good shot of it. It was so far away from the play.
The one shot we did have made it look as though that it was inadvertent, but the fans, of course, can't see that, and they're plenty angry right now. You have Jay Miller next to McClellan, and Miller pawing at him right off the faceoff, and there'll be a Bruin penalty coming up as a result.
Can't believe that. Miller went out, he gave 2 lefts to McClellan, and he did exactly what he didn't have to do. Now they'll fight, and I'll tell you what, this thing should be still called Miller with an extra 2, because they went at it even there. Nobody should get an instigator in this fight.
Miller and McClellan, the 2 guys who have done this more than any on their respective teams.
Whoa. What a major right roundhouse. Even though McClellan is a lefty, he threw the right, but you know, he missed it. He hit the glass or one of the struts that separates the glass. Boom. Fun time. Yeah, Jay Miller can go ahead and laugh. I'm anxious to see the way these penalties shake down, because that was the dumbest penalty you can imagine. The whole world knew he was gonna do it.
Absolutely.
Can't believe O'Reilly put him out there.
And Andy Van Hellemond knew it was coming too and was looking right at him. Mickey Redmond, your thoughts?
I'll tell you, you watch those guys, the angle that you guys are at, a little better than mine, but these guys to my left by the penalty box really wailing away on each other. And of course, 2 of the heavyweights in the National Hockey League. But Billy, you are right on the money. That probably is going to cost the Bruins. Andy Van Hellemond had the hand up. McClellan played it very, very smart as he just backed off, let Jay Miller bang him in the back of the head a couple of times. The delayed penalty was in progress when the fight broke out, and there should not be an instigator call on the fighting major penalties. It's a 1-1 hockey game. We'll be back after this.
Here's the fight. We're going to pick it up when Jay Miller had gone down. Watch the miss here.
Oh no.
You might have noticed Glenn Sather standing there clapping. He was looking right across the ice at McClellan, saying, way to go, Mac. Way to go, Mac. Good discipline by McClellan to draw that penalty. Dumb penalty by Miller. Can't call it anything but that.
No, absolutely. Tikkanen crisply back to the point to Curry. Hands over to Gregg. At the front, both Anderson and Tikkanen. And Tikkanen being roughed up now by Wesley. Gretzky holding. Side of the net, Anderson. Shot, score! A power play goal. 2-1 Edmonton. The Oilers ahead by 1. Battling for it is Bort. Puck taken by Simpson. Across it comes to Anderson. And Anderson with a shot. He scores! Glenn Anderson, and it is 3-1 in favor of Edmonton. Anderson's second of the game, and second in 2 minutes and 32 seconds. One broke the tie, and this one has given him a 2-goal advantage. What a hit just now between Lacombe and Kluzak, and Kluzak skating around trailing Lacombe. Boy, the Bruins have got to be careful of this. This has been a nemesis of theirs all through the playoffs.
Let's talk about the effects of this ice on a hockey game. Well, if the ice gets poor, whether it gets sticky or whether it gets chopped up, it's easier to protect the lead. You just, you don't want to be Gordy Kluzak right then either. You don't want to be the team coming from behind. Boy, Norm Lacombe really laid it to him. Protecting a lead on bad ice is a lot easier, so that's one factor. But the fog is a second factor. If the fog continues, and there it is, if it gets a little worse, you've got to know visibility just decreases rapidly. So the Bruins, in theory, would never be out of this hockey game if they could continue to get some shots on Grand Fjord, because you can't stop what you can't see. So the fog will be a factor. Ray Bourque really did do a nice job of getting away from those two Oilers. And here's Wesley's pass. This isn't a shot, but watch, he'll hook it in with the blade of his stick right there.
Yeah, thanks for the help.
Routine.
Greg now to Curry. Nicely poke-checked away by Linseman. LeMay, though, drilled it into Gretzky. You're seeing some of this traffic jam at center ice causing quick turnovers of play. Gretzky's drive is wide. It's kept alive by Greg. Gretzky right out in front. Tikkanen scores! Boom. 15 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the third period as Ray Bourque goes back. Bruins are in a hole. They trail by 3. LeMay steps ahead, then works it along to Crowder. Crowder's pass is off Anderson. Anderson, though, lost to Linseman in front. Lemelin flips it along. Messier tips it back over. Anderson finesses in front. Backhander hit the side of the net. Rebound in front. Simpson scores! You'll get a chance to see why McSorley was boxed. A little bit of a hook there, wiping off Joyce. Bruins have not scored on the power play in this series. Got to do it now. Gretzky and Messier. But Messier worked over by Wesley. Joyce punches it. Score! By Neely! And they're back to within 2. And it is Bourque to play in the last half minute. Ray Bourque for the Bruins gave it up to Anderson. The net is empty. Gretzky sets up Tikkanen, who scores.
The final score, the Edmonton Oilers 6 and the Boston Bruins 3.